Thank you for coming back today at the Physics Mindset, your best channel to deliver the information on solar systems, electrical and electronics. Don't miss any video so that you gain the knowledge which you will use for future reference. We are here to give you, to deliver everything we have in technical, engineering and home workouts. So today we are since we started about the solar panels, the charge controllers, the battery. Now we are seeing the inverters. Inverters, we have seen the types of inverters, the hybrid, the off-grid and on-grid type of inverters. And we saw the use of the functions and we see which is the best. The best was, we said the best was the hybrid type of inverter, which is the combination of on-grid type of inverter and off-grid type of inverter combined together to make a hybrid type of inverter. Though these other types of inverters, they are good for our home use, for small systems. Okay. Now, as I told you that I will tell you what you will need to see when you're going to buy an inverter, both a technician, an engineer, an electrician, or a customer. You know, nowadays customers they also go to the market to buy for themselves an inverter, okay, which is not bad, but you need to have the knowledge about an inverter. Don't miss to watch any video about the inverter which I've put there. Okay, now today I need you, the technician, the engineers, the electricians, the customers who are willing to go on the market to buy inverter. Specification is so important. Specification is a seal. Let me say it is a technical seal which shows which inverter you want. Okay, you know we have a lot of types of inverters on the market, okay, for our small systems, solar systems. But which inverter is good for you? Do you know that this inverter works with this load? This inverter works with this battery. Okay, now I'm going to give you the basics, the specifications, the inverter specifications, to see which inverter is well and good for your system, either small system or big system. It depends on the specifications. Before you buy the inverter, before you go and ask an inverter, write down the specifications you will need. This specification will help you and you will know the inverter size you need. Either a technician, you need this information. An electrician, you need this information. Solar technician, you need this. An engineer, you need this knowledge. Don't forget. Let us start. Let's start with one. We start with one of the specifications in an inverter. Before you buy an inverter, you need to know the power rating. The power rating. You need to know the power rating of an inverter. Okay? You need to know the power rating. Power rating. We are on specifications, the inverter specifications. Before you buy an inverter, you need to know the power rating of that inverter. The power rating, I mean the watts. Once you see any word, power rating, just know you're going to be talking about the wattage. Okay? Wattage. Wattage, I mean the capacity of an inverter, that this inverter can carry this wattage. I mean this load. Load, I mean still, if you find that the word load, it means you're talking about wattage. If you find the word power, it means you're talking about wattage, because the SI unit for measuring power is watts. Okay? Now, power rating. After rating is the counting of the loads. Counting of the loads mean each electronic load has the rating. Which rating? The power rating. Which rating? I mean the power, the watts. The watts. Let's say an example on the TV. A TV has, let's say it has a 50 watts. That is the power rating. And let's say another, a cooker. A cooker has something like 1,500 wattage. Okay? Let's say a fridge. A fridge has from 100 watts to 400 watts. Okay? That is the power rating which we are talking about. We are talking about the inverter. If your inverter is going to power the fridge, it's going to power the lights, it's going to power your TV, it's going to power the charging of your phones. Now, you combine the power ratings. After getting the power rating of those your electronic gadgets, then you will have to know if your TV has 50 watts, your lights has, let's say, 20 watts, total watts. Let's say you have 5 bulbs in the house, and each bulb is 5 watts, and you have in the sitting there is 1 bulb which is 5 watt, in the dining, bedroom, and security, those are 4. Then if they are 5, they make 5 times 4, they make what? 20. Okay, now these are lights, 20 lights. One TV is of 50 watts. Let's say a fridge will be, this ink, a fridge will be, let's say, 100 watts. Now you calculate the wattage. 50, 20, 100. You get this and this one is 70. Then plus 100, that is 170. Our total wattage will be 170 watts. Now this is for your load, the customer's load. Okay? Now after getting the customer's load, the power rating for an inverter to run these loads, you'll increase. We shall see the calculation how to. Now I'll technically, with experience, I can tell an inverter which can run your wattage. If you get this 170, now you need to put time, but we shall come then in the next video. We shall look how to calculate an inverter, not at this time. Okay, but I can give you, if I have calculated even the time and I found out that this is the power which my load needs, I'll put if it is 170, I'll put a 300 watt. A 300 watt will run this. Okay, but we shall see how we calculate the power an inverter. Now, a power rating of an inverter. You see the wattage. I was giving an example, but you need to focus on the wattage. Watts of an inverter. 2. Watts of an inverter, I mean, you'll talk about, let us say, 500 watts. Let's say 500 watt an inverter. If it is 600, if it is 1000, we write an inverter like 1k watt, 1k watt. Or you'll find an inverter when they have written 1 VA. VA means wattage or power or wattage, because power equals VA. VA means voltage times current. Okay? And that is the sizing of an inverter. You need to know my inverter is of which wattage. That is the power. Now, the next point is, we say to input Input voltage. Input voltages. Okay, you need to know the inverter you're going to buy. Which input voltages? Input voltages, I mean the voltages from the solar panel or the voltages from the battery. Okay, because an inverter uses a DC. It is an electronic device which converts DC into AC. So what is the input voltages? That is what we are meaning with the input voltage. This is number 2. Number 1 was you need to know which wattage you are going to buy. Which inverter wattage are you going to buy? Okay. Now here, the input voltage, the voltage which is going to supply the inverter. It is either from a panel, a solar panel, or from the battery. Okay? And that is the 2 inputs we are having. Now, if it is coming from the battery, most solar inverters, they normally use, because we're talking about inverters. Now, the input voltage, we shall say, most solar inverters will use voltage from 12 volts input from the battery. This is from the battery. That is one battery. Now, other inverters may use 24 volts. 24 volts DC. This is DC. Okay? 24 volts. We are talking about the input voltage of the inverter. The voltage you feed the inverter. 12 volts, 24 volts DC from the battery. These are 2 batteries. You connect them in series to get 24. Then, and 48 volts DC. Yes, most inverters use 12 volts, 24 volts, and 48 volt DC. That is the input voltage to the inverter, to supply the inverter. Let us say this is your battery. Battery has 2 terminals, a positive and negative. Now this is your inverter. Inverter will have 2 terminals, a positive terminal and a negative terminal. This is battery. This is inverter. Now, the positive terminal, negative terminal, if it is one battery, that is 12 volts, the input to the inverter. If there are 2 batteries, then 24 volts, this inverter. And an inverter, when you're going to buy, please read on the specification, the inverter specification. Each inverter has that seal which is having the information which you need to read. If you are a customer, when you have gone to buy for your own inverter, please read on the seal. There is a technical seal on an inverter. Okay, it will tell you the power rating of that inverter. It will tell you the input voltage of that inverter, if it is 12 volts, if it is 24 volts, or if that inverter needs 48 voltage. Okay, you may be having a large system and you will need an inverter which you will carry, and it will be like for 48 voltage. Don't go for an inverter for 48 voltage, yet you need an inverter of 12 volts. This will be more expensive than this one. Okay, because of the function of it. It will carry more load according to the system you have designed. Okay, now this is one of the specification on that seal. One was power rating. The next was the voltage, the input voltage. We have seen we may either find 12 volts or 24 volts or 48 voltage DC from the battery. Okay, you see, from the battery to the inverter. Then from an inverter to our gadgets, TVs, fridges, okay, the output. And that is also another point. You need to know what is the output of your inverter. Number 3, let us say output voltage. You need to know the output voltage of your inverter. What inverter are you going to buy to the market? Is it a 110 volts? Is it a 220 volts? Is it a 230 volts? Or is it a 240 volt? It depends in the country you are. Most of the countries have different outputs, meaning the appliances in that country, they have a specific voltage which they use. Some countries use 110 volts. Some countries use 100 volts. It will depend on the output of an inverter. Output of an inverter, after putting a volt, 12 volts, now determine the output. The output of an inverter, okay, this will be the output voltage, either 110 volts, either 220 volts. This is AC. Output voltage for that inverter, it is in AC, alternative current. It has converted DC from DC direct current to AC alternative current. Now determine which country you are. Okay? Know the country you are, and you should know the voltages in that country, meaning the appliances you're using will use that specific voltage. Either your country use 110, either the country you are, they use 220, either the country you're in, they use 240 volts output, alternative current, AC, okay? And it is one of the points you need to determine when you're going to buy an inverter. Determine the power rating of an inverter. That is, you're looking for the watts of an inverter. Either 100 watts, either 500 watts, either 1 kVA, that is 1000 watts, okay? Determine the input voltage. Input voltage, we said, is in either 12 volts from the battery or from the battery, 24 volts from the battery or from the solar panel, 48 volts from the battery or from the solar panel direct to the inverter, okay? Now determine the output voltage before you buy an inverter. Know the country you are. Either the country, all your TVs or your gadgets use 110, okay? Then you can go and buy an output voltage for 110. Or the country you are, they use 220 volts AC. Then go and look for the inverter which produces 220 or 230 or 240 volts, okay? The output of an inverter. Determine those things when you're going to buy an inverter. The fourth thing, determine the efficiency. The efficiency, that is number 4. Efficiency. Efficiency. Determine the efficiency. Determine the efficiency of the inverter. Okay? This efficiency, I said, the efficiency of an inverter. Oh, an electronic gadget. Oh, now we are talking about an inverter. Now it's efficiency. When you're talking about efficiency, meaning the higher the efficiency, what? The higher the efficiency, the less power loss. Okay? Power loss, I mean, when we have high, let us say, this is our inverter here. It has efficiency, it means it is measured in percentage. Let's say if our inverter has 90% efficient or 95% efficient, or some goes up to 98. As I said, they are not perfectly 100% efficient. Okay? They have a level where they reach. Okay? Inverters are not 100% efficient. Solar panels are not 100%. Nothing is 100%. Okay? Some inverters goes up to 98% efficient. Now, if this inverter is 90% or 98%, meaning it's going to utilize all power from the battery, okay? It is not going to heat up. Let us say, which inverter did we see when it is good? It doesn't lose power. We said a pure sine wave inverter. Remember the last video we talked about the pure sine wave inverter output. and a modified sine wave inverter output. Those are output wavelength. Okay. Now, if this inverter, its efficiency is 98, okay, meaning this inverter is not going to heat up. One of the examples is those inverters with pure sine wave inverters, which produces an output which is pure. Pure, we said it is smooth electricity, and modified inverters, they have rough electricity. But pure sine wave inverters, when you're going to buy an inverter, make sure you read that word on an inverter when it is having a pure sine wave. Okay, you'll not regret anymore. Now, if it is 90, we said the higher the efficient, the less the power loss, meaning the inverter will not heat up. Heating up, we are using the battery voltage, and the battery will discharge very fast because of some power is being wasted on heating. Okay, when the efficiency is high, there is no heating, and this power, instead of being lost in heating of an inverter, the inverter will not heat, meaning the power will be taken to your bulbs to use, to your TVs to use, for your fridge to use, and in the long run, it will impact on the time. Okay, the time will prolong. Okay, and that is the pure sine wave type of inverters. Always read on the stickers or on top of the inverter, there is a word, a pure sine wave. Don't forget to read those things when you're going to buy your inverter. I'm giving you the points you need to consider when you're going to buy an inverter. One was the power rating, which is the wattage of the inverter. Don't just buy an inverter because it is an inverter. You need to calculate your loads, then calculate everything. As well, I'm going to show you how to calculate an inverter in the next video. Then you need to know the wattage. Okay. Now you need to know the input voltage of your system, either 12 volts, 24 volts, 48 volts. Okay. Then you need to know the output, which voltage you have, which country are you in. Then you will determine the voltage you will need, the output voltage you may need. Some who may be in a certain country when they use 220 volts, and you want to buy an inverter from abroad. Okay, you can buy your inverter knowing the output. Now, the efficiency, I have told you, if the efficiency is high, meaning we shall not have any loss of power anywhere, any loss of voltages or currents, meaning the current, all the current and voltage, we shall utilize it properly, efficiently. That's why when you find a gadget with low efficiency, an inverter, mostly we're talking about an inverter, when you find the inverters with low efficiency, just know some power is going to be lost in certain way, either in heating, either in the sound made by the inverter, that all those things consume power, yet we need power to use in our TVs, okay, radios, lights, and fridges. And this will reduce on the function or the operation of our appliances. Now, when the efficiency is high, our appliances, this inverter will utilize all power losses and will send them to our appliances, meaning our appliances will work for longer hours. And mostly these inverters are the pure sine wave inverters. Don't forget this. Always read the things. Okay? If not, write the points down. If you're going to buy an inverter, if you're a technician, customer, write these things down. Okay? Go with it. Go to the market. Ask the seller. I want an inverter. Let's say an example of 500 wattage of an inverter. You are looking for an inverter of 500 watts. Now, ask the customer, I want an inverter for 12 volts. 12 volts, 500 wattage. The output, that is the input. The output will be 240 volts. Okay? That's the output. Now, the efficiency, I want when it is efficient, is 90 and above. Okay? Now, the seller will know that you know what you're going to buy. You can even tell him, I want an inverter which is a pure sine wave. And you will read that word on an inverter, that it is a pure sine wave. If it is a modified sine wave, it will be written there. Don't forget to read the things. Okay? Now, the fourth thing is the thing which we need to also to look in, it is so crucial for all of us, the technicians and the clients, the engineers, it is so crucial, okay? The battery compatibility. Number 5, we shall call it battery compatibility. Battery compatibility. The battery compatibility is the inverter compatible to work on such or some types of batteries. Let us say an example. Compatibility, I mean, some inverters are made. Let us say you have some inverters are manufactured by the manufacturers. They design an inverter which is best to use on lithium type of battery. How do I say? This if you get this inverter and you use them on different type of inverter rather than a lithium type of a battery, the inverter will not function well because its compatibility, the battery compatibility is not matching with the inverter. I think you are getting me, I don't know. The difference, the manufacturers, they manufacture or they design an inverter compatible with certain type of batteries. We have types of batteries. Let us say lithium type of batteries, lead acid batteries, gel batteries, AGM batteries. Okay. Now, these manufacturers may design an inverter which to function well, you must connect it. The input voltage must be coming from a type of battery specifically. So when you're going to buy an inverter, please read also the sticker and search for battery compatibility, or ask the seller that this inverter, which good battery can it use? Which type of battery? Is it lithium type of battery? Is it lead acid battery? Is it good on gel batteries? Is it good on AGM type of batteries? Ask the seller if he has some knowledge about it, or read on the box where the inverter battery is. This is the battery compatibility. There you will not be disappointed when you install your system. Ask the things, you will be helped. Ask the efficiency of the battery, of the inverter. What is the efficiency? Is it 90%? Is it 95? Is it 98? Is it less? When it is less, just know there is some voltage or some power losses. But when the efficiency is high, we shall utilize all the voltages from the battery and we shall have a longevity of our TV to watch, okay, of our fridge to operate, okay, because of high efficient, okay. Aim at high efficient when we reach at efficiency. Then look for the output voltages. Some people, they just know that automatic the voltage will be what our gadgets need, but no, it depends on the country, because some manufacturer will bring different type of inverters on the market, okay, and you're also going to buy your gadgets from different type of shops. So you're not buying your gadgets in the house in one shop. You're buying them in different type of shops. The fridge is from a different manufacturer. The TV is from different manufacturer. The radio, the DVDs, the lights, the bulbs you're using, they are of different companies. Now, you don't know the output of the inverter. Okay? You need to know the output of the inverter to supply your gadgets the exact voltage you need. Okay? Remember, an inverter is to try to change or convert DC power into AC electricity. Okay? Know the input. If the inverter is of 12 volts, know the input voltages. If it is 24, just know if it is 24 and you have one battery, meaning your inverter will not work. And don't blame the client. If the client has gone and buy the inverter of 24 volts, yet Here's one battery, and you connect without reading on the inverter seal. You don't know which type of voltages, the input voltage you need. Okay, your inverter will not function. You'll take back and you think that the inverter is not working or the inverter is faulty. Yet it is your fault that you didn't read that the inverter is of 24, and for you having one battery which is 12 volts, meaning you need to have 2 batteries to connect in series to make 24. As we said, in series connection, the voltages increases, but the capacity remain constant. The capacity is the current or the ampere hours of the battery remain constant. In series connection, the voltages, once you connect a positive plus negative, one positive from one battery and the negative of another battery, you will make 24 volts. That is a series connection. But in a parallel connection, the voltages remain constant, but the current or the capacity of the batteries increases. Okay? Now, it is your fault because you didn't read the input voltage. You need to read the power rating, the input voltages, the output voltages of the inverter, the efficiency of the inverter, and ask the battery compatibility. Which type of battery do I need to use on this type of inverter, so that you don't mess up with your installations. And if the client is capable, they can even write on your technical, there is a book inside the box. You can read that this inverter is made for lithium type of batteries, or this inverter is made for lead acid batteries, or this inverter is made for AGM or GEL batteries. And you'll have a way to go. Know the information. If the client you don't know, please get a technician who is well informed, or watch these videos from the beginning. You'll know a lot of what you will install or what you need in all your system, so that your system is perfect without any fault. Okay, now since we have seen all this, the power rating, the input voltage, the output voltage, the efficiency, and the battery compatibility, if we know that, meaning you are capable to go on the market and buy an inverter. Okay, go with this information, ask the seller this information, and you will have the proper inverter you need. But which inverter, which wattage? The power rating of an inverter in the next video is what we are going to cover. We see, because how do you know the wattage of an inverter you need for your household, for your appliances? Okay, we are going to do some small calculation to know how to calculate an inverter. An inverter is measured in wattage. Okay, measured in wattage, and we are going to look at how do you know the power rating of an inverter. There you will be free to go and buy your inverter. Okay, now since we have all this, let me make sure from the beginning you are there with us and you are gaining knowledge about solar systems. Since we started from the solar panels, the solar regulators, solar batteries, then we are on inverters. We are going to do the sizing of an inverter, that is the power rating. Okay, after knowing the power rating of an inverter, then you are good to go to buy an inverter. You will be perfect in your solar system. This is a general for all beginners, all pro or engineers who have no idea about solar system. Okay, watch from the beginning the videos, watch one by one, and you learn more. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any information about solar systems, electrical installations, and electronic repairs. We shall do the repairing of everything, all the electronics. I'll give you the basic that you can handle any electronic appliance, anything which uses electrical. You'll be able to tamper with the repair. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video for some of people or your friends, your families, to know about the knowledge. Physics Mindset. See you in the next video about the sizing of a solar inverter. Don't miss to watch this, because without knowing the sizing of an inverter, you'll be not knowing which inverter is capable to carry my loads, or which inverter is capable to connect on the battery, and my loads, my TVs, my lights, my security lights is capable of doing so, because we have the sun, which is free. This, if you know this, that solar system helps in reducing electrical bills, you will never move away from solar systems. Don't build a house and miss to put solar system in your house. Wire your electrical system, but put solar. Nowadays electrical goes. When power has gone off, solar system is there for free, and the utility companies will not charge you when using solar. Remember, solar now works on TVs, like electricity, the utility electricity. Solar works on lights, no pay. Solar works on fridge, no pay. It means the electrical bills are going to be on 0 shillings. Don't forget to subscribe. Let us see the next video, how to size a solar inverter or any type of an inverter. Don't miss. See you there.